Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and I thought it'd be a bit of fun to do this video today because I've actually got two lots of fruit here that are very similar looking, to be honest, but about as far apart as you could possibly get in their actual sort of natural behaviour, the taste of the fruit, the appearance of the fruit inside. It's just the exterior is quite similar, and the reason I wanted to do these as well is these are loquats or loquats, some of the earliest of the season here. I mean, not UK season, of course, because we rarely get any to fruit here, but these are from the local corner Turkish or Cypriot shop. And they will probably be imported from Turkey, where they would be ripening at the moment. They're not particularly large. They tend to get a little bit larger as they get better into their season. But I thought it'd be fun to compare them with some Achachas, which of course are a super tropical Garcinia. And the reason I wanted to do these two is you probably saw me do a tasting on some Achachas a couple of weeks ago. I think it's Garcinia humilis, if I remember rightly, which I got from my exotic fruits. These ones came from Borough Market, and they're quite a lot darker orange, which means they're probably from a different country, and they're probably from a different variety. I mean, they may be a darker orange because possibly a little bit riper, but I wanted to see how they compared with the ones that I've had a couple of weeks ago, and also to show you, if you're not familiar with these fruits, the difference between the loquats or loquats and the achachas in actual appearance. So we'll flip the camera around and let's see what you think. Okay, so this is not a like for like comparison, as they're radically different fruits. This is the loquat on that hand, this is the achacha, but I have seen these smaller and I've seen these much bigger, so it's not necessary to do with size. Now, some people eat the skins on loquats, and I do sometimes, but I have found that they vary a lot as regards the edibility of the skin. Sometimes the skin, I find, is very leathery and actually quite bitter, and for me it spoils the flavour of the fruit. And I think some people are lazy as well, and they just eat them, because once the skin's combined with the flesh, of course it tends to sort of disappear, a bit like eating the skin on pineapple guavas. But these are actually very easy to peel. It's no great hardship. You can just peel them with your fingers. You can peel with a knife if you don't like getting your fingers dirty. But you know, it's only taken me 30 seconds to peel the skin off that one, and I thought it'd be nice to show you what they look like just by cutting them down the middle. Now, they're quite reminiscent, apart from the shape being a bit more oval. I think they're very reminiscent in appearance to an apricot. I have this little piece at the end here which I like to remove. It's a bit like the end of a guava. It's not very edible. And what I find is when you pick that off and peel it, you tend to get a lot of there's like an inner membrane which goes around the seeds. Here you can see the seeds on the loquats or loquat. You get rid of that inner membrane, which can be a little bit chewy as well. These ones are quite sweet. They'll be better later in the season. Again, it depends when they're picked. And because they're not that sweet, that's one of the reasons I like to pick the membrane and the skin off, because I tend to find that there's more sweetness to them. There's more sweetness to them if you get rid of the skin and the membrane. A little bit orangey, the flavour on this one. They don't really taste like other fruits. The fact that it's got a slight orangey flavour to it isn't necessarily typical. I mean, they taste like loquats at the end of the day. Perhaps a hint of apricot in there. And for a comparison, in case you didn't see my Achacha tasting, let's cut through this one. And I think this is going to be sweeter than the ones I had before. They look like quite good quality fruit. And that's the inside. Couldn't be much more different than a loquat. You can see the skin is probably 1/4 inch thick, about sort of roughly sort of 3 to 4 millimeters. The flesh is sort of a pure white softness to it. It's kind of segmented like a purple mangosteen, but not quite. That's actually quite a bit sweeter than the ones I had a couple of weeks ago. There's no sourness or tang to it at all, really. Quite a nice level of sweetness. Now, one of the things you have with these, one of the downsides of these, is relative to the size of the fruit, they can have huge seeds in. Generally have 1 or 2. If the fruit's a bit bigger, it might have 3. They're normally split into 3 segments. Let's see if I can show you the size of the seed. That's the size of the seed, and that's the size of the fruit. So you can see that takes up a fair amount of space. Let's try this other bit of flesh on the other side. It looks like this one's got a second seed in it, although sometimes the second seed's very undersized. You can spoon the flesh out. Again, I think the skin can be used, can be eaten. I think they might make coffee out of it. I'm not 100% sure, you'd have to look that up. I know you can make a type of coffee out of purple mangosteen shells, but I've got a slight inkling you can use Achacha ones for that as well. I believe the seeds are edible. I've never eaten them. Don't know if they have to be prepared or cooked, or if you can just eat them just like they are. I don't know if they're bitter or sweet. I'll have to investigate that as well. But I'm sure someone told me Achacha seeds can be eaten as well. I'm not going to bite through this one just to see. It's more likely I'll keep the seeds to see if they'll germinate. Yeah, this seed's smaller than the other one, but it does look viable. I'll give that a good scrubbing, and then I might plant them, just stick them in a pot and see if any of them germinate. So anyway, that was just an off-the-cuff comparison between 2 radically different fruits. A bit like comparing a grape with an apple, I suppose, but it's because they look quite similar that appealed to me to do a comparison. So that's the loquat or loquat. That's Areobotria japonica, and the Achacha, which is, I think, Garcinia humilis or humilis. Thanks for watching the video. Please give me a thumbs up. Welcome to share it, because you might find someone who'd be interested in that. Please subscribe to my channel. Remember, you've got to click on the bell if you want to know when new videos come out. See you all soon. Brett out for now.